Hi there, welcome to Game Plan. The Super Eagles of Nigeria match day 1 in Group D. Well, they got a victory against the Egyptians, the Pharaohs of Egypt. Surprise win. But let's look at the game plan on how those attacks went and the defense went for the Super Eagles. And one of the very exciting attacks was this one for the Super Eagles. And you can see it was a 5-man attack, but then this is 4 of the 5-man attack. 2 players in here and 2 wide players. There's another player here, but David, this obviously tells you the pressure the Super Eagles put on the Egyptians on the day with the formation and the way they came forward.
I think what we find in football games is, if you are going to be the protagonist, at the end of the day, you find a way to, be the winner at the end of the game. And that was what the Super Eagles did on Tuesday. So it was pressing and counter-pressing all through.
And of course, with the wide men, Chikwueze and Moses Simon,
who were very, very important in the gameplay. At times, you find Olaino and Chikwueze overloading, doubling up on the Egyptian left back out here. Abdul Munem, who replaced Akram Taufik early on in the game, was seriously decimated by the overload that Zaidu Sanusi and Moses Simon were able to create in that area.
It just tells us how strong playing when the Super Eagles went forward, they went in their number 5-man attack with 1, 2, 3, 4, and the third man here, who is Moses Simon. Let's move away from this, and of course, this attack caused a lot of troubles for the Pharaohs. And just away from this, as we can see, the white players, of course, Moses Simon, like we pointed out, choose to play a 1-2 with Aribo, who was very instrumental on the day, and we could see the connection between Moses Simon and Aribo. And many people talked about what Moses Simon did on the day, but this man was one man who was not mentioned a lot, but he did some great work combining with either Aribo or Chikwueze from either.
Yeah,
flanks.
He was very important in the overload. The good thing about the midfield set up the way it was is that the extra man would always be on hand to make sure the overload works. So where you have a 3-on-2 situation, 2-on-1, sometimes
and with a 2-on-2 here, it gives Nigeria's attacker.
Actually, it's a 2-on-1 because the eye of this guy, this is Ahmed Helgazi, is actually on Awoniyi with an eye to stave off the attack there. The problem now, I believe this is Trezeguet, who is shadowing Zaidu Sanusi, who is supposed to come. So essentially what we are seeing out here is actually a 3-on-1 situation,
So, which of course gives Nigeria
the advantage.
Let's move on from this attack. It was as always exciting to see Moses Simon. Reminds me of Victor Moses. But here we look at another piece of attacking brilliance and tactic from the Super Eagles bench, from the Super Eagles gaffer Augustine Guavon. Aribo and Simon ready to make runs, and here is Moses Simon, and this is Zaidu Sanusi picking the ball up once again, and it tells you how important he combined. Again, many people always look at the player who is exciting, but they do not know the job done by the the left back or the right back or the creative force who is Aribo in the center circle. And on this occasion, we have 2 players from the wings who are ready to make runs. So Moses Simon ready to make run, Aribo and Simon ready to make runs off the ball and occupy space to drive for Zaidu Sanusi. And with this man making a run, it gives Zaidu Sanusi an advantage to penetrate and maybe look for his man here.
Now, the good thing about plays like this is, so the players, like an overload is going on, right? But when one person is in possession, there's the advantage that you can always create space for them by pulling the attention of the defenders away from the guy who is on.
Yeah, and then there's even more confusion in the Egyptian defense because here's another danger area, and we have 2 players here. I believe there's Ihanacho here. I'm not sure this is Awoniyi, and this is Chikwueze here. And then you're thinking, is he going to give it to this man to make a run, or is he going to swing it across for these players in here? So another dangerous piece of attack coming from the Super Eagles tactic book. Let's move away from that and just look at a bit more exciting players. This one roll away, he decided to go on, and this was one of the good chance numbers in the box. Like I said, with players coming in, I have 1, 2, 3, 4 players, and that tells you the mindset of Augustine Guavon, the Super Eagles interim manager. defend in numbers and attack in numbers. And we saw that done to perfection here with 4 players in the area. When you have more numbers in the area, it gives the defense more trouble.
That is true. We did say on Tuesday that these players played with a lot more freedom. They played with a lot more confidence, and you could see the verve that many of them entered the game with. So like you did say earlier on, the holistic strategy was work with numbers. You go forward in numbers, press high, of course leaving the danger of a high line, but also you pull back in numbers. That's where tactical nous and discipline comes in, and you can see that working out here. Samuel Chukwueze out on the left, just in case something drops, but of course the main targets here would have been Awoni out here and Iheanacho.
All right, let's move away from that. And this one just was one of those chances that went begging for the Super Eagles of Nigeria. Just moving away from this one, as you see that cross being loaded away, too far of course, but falls back to another Nigerian leg.
So you can see the overload happening right there. That's Samuel Chukwueze laying it on for an overlapping Olaino who runs to the byline and then gets across
and thinks of a cross, and then you have 1, 2, 3. So the numbers again, like we said, paying Igor is a man of numbers.
Of course, Joe Aribo also helping that overload with a late run. If the ball drops into the space, he gobbles it up.
Whack it. All right, and that's been the package on game plan on the Super Eagles and how well tactically they were against Egypt and how they could be in the coming games in the group.